very much. The power cuts that we've been experiencing have been occasioned by the low water levels and live water levels in Kariba, which have curtailed the production of power from that power facility. So much really depends on the rainfall prognosis, and the reports we're getting from our meteorological department is that we will have a normal to above normal rainfall pattern for, between now and March next year. And given how these things work, the catchment area for Kariba Dam, but also at, domestically as well as its source, really will start yielding good water yields towards sort of the beginning of next year. So we really expect Kariba to perform much better by sort of March, April next year. So if you're thinking of it in terms of power cuts and so forth, at least the contribution of Kariba facility will improve as we move to the end of the first quarter of 2025. Then on the issue of, I think the issue of decommissioning has been dealt with, but I think you meant that perhaps the Kariba might be shut down because of the low water levels. I mean, given the answer to the first question, we don't expect this to happen. On the Zimbabwe side, as you know, we share this facility with Zambia through, and it's managed through ZRA, Zambezi River Authority, which is co-managed through that company as well as the interministerial committee on both countries, comprising the Ministers of Energy, Ministers of Finance, as well as the Attorneys General. So really, our prognosis is that on Zimbabwe side there shouldn't be any difficulty at all. We haven't even started digging into the initial 5% allowable overuse in terms of our water allocation. And then once you go over the 5%, you then move into the reserve. We're not there yet there in Zimbabwe, so we don't even expect to pay a penalty. On the side of Zambia, let me not comment, it's a foreign country and we're Minister of Finance for Zimbabwe. Thank you very much.
The 25th of October is the 5th year that SADC as a group is campaigning in solidarity with Zimbabwe for the removal, total removal of sanctions against Zimbabwe. And you will know that this effort was in fact introduced by the late President Magufuli when he was chairman of SADC 5 years ago. So Zimbabwe will continue to honor this event and to encourage people to campaign against removal of the illegal sanctions imposed on Zimbabwe by those countries that imposed sanctions on us. The fact that the United States, you called it, eased the sanctions by removing Zimbabwe from the OFAC platform and handing it over to another platform, the Magnitsky platform, is no encouragement to anyone, certainly not to Zimbabwe, to say that they eased these sanctions. We want a total removal of sanctions on Zimbabwe because they're illegal. So we are going to have a campaign in Zimbabwe to drum up the issue of the removal of sanctions on the day, on the 25th of October. This day is coming at about at the same time as ZANU-PF is holding its annual conference. So the events, most of the events that we are talking about will be held in Bulawayo, and our own president His Excellency Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa will issue 2 statements. He will issue the first statement as President of Zimbabwe in support of the anti-sanctions movement, and he will issue a second statement as Chairman of SADC to emphasize the same on behalf of the 15 other countries that are in SADC. So until all sanctions are removed on Zimbabwe, and until ZEDERA is repealed by Congress, Zimbabwe will be relentless in pushing for the removal of sanctions on it.
Honorable Chair, the fire that gutted Mbari Traders Market, as said as it is, has created a great opportunity for Zimbabwe, for the government in particular, to design and build sustainable infrastructure that will ensure orderliness in terms of conducting business, orderliness where the traders will be able to pay their rates to local authorities, they will be able to pay their taxes, there will be governable environment in the infrastructure. We're going to put modern infrastructure, perhaps 2-3 floors, to ensure that those that are involved in dealing with hardware, they've got their own floor. Those that have got ICT equipment, they're on a different floor, and so on and so forth. So we want infrastructure where it will be very difficult for the various traders to be unable to pay taxes and rates. So we are now moving away from a situation which was ungovernable, disorderly, to an orderly, properly managed business going forward. We are all aware that Mbari Traders Market in particular was generating in excess of $2 million per day. And what was gutted by fire, we are told, is also in excess of about $20 million. It's a huge economy on its own, and we need to put proper structures that are sustainable to climate changes, that are sustainable to any fires or any other disasters. The same applies to Glenville Area 8. Glenville Area 8 is the biggest manufacturer of furniture in Harare at the moment. And the quality of materials that they use for the infrastructure is substandard. So we've been directed that as we work on Mbari, we should also at the same time work on Glenville in terms of upgrading. Then the second phase will be going to other towns and cities and ensure that all traders markets where our SMEs are operating from are upgraded to sustainable levels. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Ministers, colleagues, thank you very much for attending today's session. We've come to the end of today's